Hello everybody, it is KillerBot99603 back again. We are here with another VOD review. Today we're going to be looking at a silver support player, and I actually know this guy and the guy he's duoing with, the guy on main tank. I know them in real life. They're a couple of my friends, and we actually play in a console, like a PS4 Discord league together. So, you know. Just full disclosure and everything. But we are looking at Keymore on the Lucio. And one weird thing about this clip, he only gave me the second half of a round of comp. So we're only going to be able to see the attack on Hanamura. I do not have access to the defense. I waited a little too long from when he gave it to me, and I believe the stream that he pulled this from is now gone. So we're going to work with what we got. I think I mentioned it. If I didn't, this guy normally plays main support. Today we're going to see him on off support. If I can get my screen working correctly. Give me 1 second, everybody. Oh my goodness. Why? Can you guys see that? Maybe, no, you can't. It's like still showing me my bottom desktop bar. That's a little bit weird, but we're gonna roll with it. Ah, there we go. Now if I click on it, we should be good. Can I still control it? No, I can't. Why can I not? Oh no, I can't. Alright, cool, we're good. Sorry about that little technical mishap, everybody. I will try to... maybe I'll edit that out. Maybe I'll just let it stay. We'll see. But we are going to get started. So the comp we are looking at is Reinhardt, D.Va. Pretty standard tank line. Normally you'd see like the Rein Zarya, but Rein D.Va is absolutely fine. We see the Pharah and the Junkrat. I mean, Pharah's pretty good on this point. The issue I have is kind of with the healers, with the Pharah. Junk on attack is interesting, but you can definitely make it work. Excuse me. Especially if the dude's playing behind the tanks, that's totally fine. Then we get to our healers. We have our Lucio, which I like because it'll help speed our Junkrat and our Reinhardt around. And we have the Moira to help keep everybody up. The issue, like I said with the Pharah, that Pharah, it's going to be tough to get her heals because she's going to be up in the air. She's going to need to come back to the team for healing. But if she's doing that, like, totally fine. Yeah, let's just get this going. We're going to skip ahead because we don't really need all this waiting around. Okay.
Watch that Widow.
Where is this Widow? We hear the shot.
Watch that Widow. Oh.
Okay, we can't actually see her. So the call out's not awful, watch the Widow, but when you say it like that, it kind of implies where you know where she is. Now, using our knowledge of the map, we can kind of infer she's going to be up in this. Whoa. I don't know what that was, but we can kind of infer she's going to be up in this window over here. So if you hear the Widow and you're pretty sure you know where she is, just go ahead and add that location in too. So instead of just saying, watch out for the Widow, say, Widow, top left window, watch out. Something like that. Give the character, the location, and an action. Those are the three big things in a call out. That's all you really need. Character, location, action. So for this one, like I said, Widow, top left window, watch out. Widow, character, top left window, location, watch out, action. Not a big deal, but like I said, I know these guys in real life. And Keymore, you gotta keep working on your callouts, buddy. They're getting better. Just keep working on it.
You're sinister.
Okay. Where'd my mouse go? There we go. We're gonna back up for a second because there's another thing just regarding communication. When you are calling a cooldown like that, it's good that you called it before you used it, but give your team some time to react. You said, I'm speeding you in, and you did it right away. Like, it happened. That, given the delay with PS4, just voice comms in general, there's like half a second to a second delay. Plus, you don't know if your team was ready. Plus, you didn't give them any kind of warning. So, check that your team is ready to go in before you just like, alright, I'm committing this cooldown, let's go. Be like, are we ready to push? Just something that quick. When you get a yes, alright, I'm going to speed in 3, 2, 1, go, 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 go. Something like that. That gets your team thinking, hey, am I ready to push? Do I have my cooldowns? Do I have my resources? Are we good? Yes? Check. Alright, next thing. Give them time to react to your cooldown. Let them know you're going to use it. So, hey everybody, I'm going to speed us through in 3, 2, 1. They now have 3 full seconds to be like, alright, we gotta move, go! It's just giving them some extra time to work with the information you're telling them. We are not robots. We can't process at light speed. I mean, we kind of can, but that's, like, our brain is crazy, and it is doing, like, crazy electrical shit. But, point being, sorry, I went off on a tangent. We can't react instantaneously. You gotta give them some time. We're all human. And I just want to back up because I kind of missed what was going on. So speed in, that's fine. Or what is our... Oh, I'm already through a heal ball. That's what's going on. Okay. We're on healing. That's good because we're in the middle of the fight. What was that? So we're healing wherever. Orisa puts her shield down. Our Reinhardt walks through it. We got 2 people through it. I think that's our Junk. Yeah, our Junk and our Diva are also through it. Our Moira is like right over here. That leaves our Pharah. So everybody's pretty well together. And we need to get through through the shield. Our Reinhardt needs to stay through the shield. That's fine. We're gonna jump through it, and then we immediately turn around. So that's their Diva. Whew, this is a mess. Okay, so we're just shooting the Diva. That's fine. We boop her. There's. I swear there was something I wanted to catch here. Okay, yeah. Now I remember what it was. This is a really small thing, like really, really, really small, but at least for where you're at. Lucio benefits a lot from swapping between speed and heals frequently. So when we're doing this kind of like semi-solo mission, like right here, just switch to speed real quick and get that boost. You'll go a little bit farther. You might be able to catch this Junkrat in your aura. You'll probably land like a little bit behind the Orisa. Instead, I think you land like right next to where this Orisa is. And if you switch fast enough, you're not really losing any healing, because you're doing 16 a second. If that's on, it'll proc for a second, you swap to speed for like half a second, swap back, and your healing just keeps going. There's no real downtime for your healing if you're doing it quick. What you're doing now, watch this number right here. Right now, I think it says 3. It says 2. It actually goes up to 3 here, so that's not the worst thing. Actually, that kind of went counter to what I was going to say, because I thought it was going to drop, but you actually picked up somebody when you jumped across this barrier. So now your Reinhardt needs to get on this side of the shield. I think he got booped back by the D.Va. That's why he kind of got where he is, which is just unlucky. It happens. And you do the right thing. You get right up on him and start trying to heal him. Your Moira should also be doing that, but you can't control her. You're doing the best you can with this. Yeah, you boot the D.Va away. That's fine. You get her off of him. So you switch to speed way too late here, my guy. Look. You amp heals, that's fine. Your Rhine was low. But he's now killed the D.Va up here. We see her dead. And there's nothing else around you. Swap to speed right now. Get him to that point faster. Instead, you swap to speed when you're already at the point. So there's not a lot of benefit there. He ends up going a different way than you anyway, which I'm not really sure why, but swap more often. We're on speed aura, that's good. Okay, we're with our Junkrat, that's fine, but okay. What's not fine is you know they have a Widow. You called it out at the beginning of the game. You know she's there. Now granted, you didn't hit the center button, you didn't pull up your information screen. You don't know if they're still on Widow, but you have to assume that they are. Or at the very least, you should be pulling that shit up and checking, because it'll tell you. You can know whether or not it's whether or not they're still on Widow. What you were doing here, you were just standing out in the open. Like, look at this. You actually see her. You see the Venom mine. You know she's there, and you're still just standing here. You don't move back to this corner. You don't move past the doorway. Like, you're not here, you're not using that, you don't go that way. You were just standing out in the open with no cover, and you see this Widow. You see the Venom mine right there. If we backed up half a second, you saw her in the doorway. You saw her throw that. Pay attention. Stay in cover. And most importantly, both your healers right now are in front of your tank. Granted, pretty much your whole team is in front of your tank. Your main tank. But you don't have to be. You can't control everybody else. If they want to like run in front of the big blue rectangle man, that's their business. You should be behind him. You should be speeding him up to where he wants to go. You should be on speed right now, because you're not really healing anybody. You were kind of healing the Junkrat, but if you just sped the Moira and your Reinhardt up to the Junkrat, she's going to be a lot better at healing him than you are. And your Moira is with you. It's not like she's not healing. She's healing right now. You see it. I know we all kind of get into this habit of talking about DPS Moiras, but this one isn't. You've seen her try to heal. Yeah, she DPS'd a little in the middle of the fight, but so does everybody. Trust your other healer. They're here to help.
Yep.
Yeah, you should be dead. You should 100% be dead, and I don't know why this dropped out of full screen. But you should 100% be dead there. Then everybody else runs and... Why are we amping? So everybody's dead. Our Reinhardt's still in armor. He's not... He's got his shield up. He just put it up, so it's not taking a lot of damage. He's still in armor. Our junk didn't really take any damage. Why are we amping? I don't have it in my notes, but at least not for this specific time. But be more careful with your amps. That is a 12-second cooldown. The best advice I've heard for it, Lucio's amp heals essentially give somebody about 50 HP in the span of 1 to 2 seconds. So if they don't need 50 health right then and there, or if you're not like healing up after a fight, you don't really need to amp heals. If you're in the middle of a fight and somebody's critical, go ahead, amp heals, get that ult charge, keep your team up just a little bit longer, totally fine. Right now, we just lost 2 of our people. Now, that is because they were out of position, that's not on you. And our Reinhardt's still in armor, and our Junk is in our aura, but when we saw him last, he wasn't really hurt. So who are you healing right now? What's the purpose of this amp?
Don't go that way, don't go that way. I'm not, I'm just shooting that way. This is out.
So we do heal. Okay, so we're kind of staying, like I said earlier, we're kind of staying too long on songs. You're staying on speed, you're staying on healing. You need to get in the habit of switching it up a lot more. The reason for this is sometimes you need to move quick. You need to chase down a target, like right then and there. You gotta move people into position. Speed is your biggest utility, so you want to be using it a lot. Your healing, your passive healing, only does 16 health per second. Pretty much every healer in the game can out-heal you. Your biggest strength is if your team is grouped up. They're all getting that 16 a second, so you're healing a lot of people. And then your amps. Again, if a lot of people are in your aura, they're low health, you amp, you're going to get a lot of healing done real quick. Right now, you're not really healing anyone. Your Reinhardt is at or pretty close to full health. We just kind of ignored this diva, who was alone. Well, you had 3, well, no, you only had 2, but you had you and your Reinhardt. Your Junk is up here doing junk things. He's ignoring his team. You can't do a whole lot about that, but I think this diva comes in behind you. Maybe not. But it feels like we're just switching, back on topic, it feels like we're just switching songs kind of arbitrarily. Like we don't really know why we're doing either one. So, speed, clearly it makes you faster. Now in the live version of the game currently, I think it does 20% passively, 50% with amp, like extra speed. It's either 20 or 30% passively, and that's just extra walking speed along the ground. With the amp, it goes up to 50. The benefit for you being on speed is wall riding. I haven't really seen you do that a whole lot. It's not the easiest point to wall ride on, I'll give you that. But make it a habit to try to be on a wall. You don't want to be just running up to people like you are right now. You are just running up to this Orisa. Be on a wall. If you're on a wall, your wall riding speed is faster than your walking speed. If you then switch to your speed song, you're going to be moving even faster, which makes it harder to hit you. Which means you're more survivable, which means you can get more healing, more value in the long run. Now, I know our Junk was like right on top of the Orisa shield. You're not going to be able to heal him through any kind of damage. Like I said, you have 16 health per second. He is critical. He is already critical. Your best bet would be to speed him out. Like amp speed and just get him to back out. He's not in comms, and I don't think he would back out. And as we see, you do kill this Orisa, and it all kind of works out. But this is a real bad spot for both of you to be in. And you didn't need to put yourself here. You could be on a wall. You could be on that wall right over there. Like you are in this doorway. The wall right outside the doorway. It gives you an angle on the Orisa shield. And then you could just boop her down. You don't need to fight her. You don't need to kill her. Just boop her away. And get her off this high ground. March your team down these stairs, no resistance. And as we find out in a couple seconds, there is an Ana down here. And if her Orisa just disappears and then your whole team, assuming you hadn't wasted speed amp, just speeds onto that Ana, that's a 3v1. You kill that Ana. You have taken out their main source of healing. That's huge. But we're focused on healing our Junkrat. We do throw speed on for a second, but it looked like that was more to try to get to him than it was to speed him out. But we are trying to heal our Junkrat, potentially through an Orisa, just on top of him. I've been on both sides of that fight. Orisa wins. If she has the aim, Orisa wins. So, this does all kind of work out in our favor. The Junkrat does kill the Orisa, and then we kind of follow this down and take out an Ana. So here, we're healing our Junk, that's fine. He is, like, engaging this Ana, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with the amp. It's not great, but I'm okay with it.
Nice shadow, nice shadow. Beats up. Shit. Dragons.
Twitch, just let me, like, pause here. So.
Fuck. Shadow.
I want to talk about that beat, bud.
Nice shadow.
We got beat. We have 2 kills. We have 2 whole kills up here. The Ana and the Diva.
Yep.
We now have 3 kills. 3 of them. That is half their team dead. Nobody on your team except the Pharah and I guess the Moira way back when. Like, they are respawning right now. Nobody else on your team has died. You have 3 picks. You are up 1 person right now. And we beat. Now it's an even fight. Actually, we're down. We are down. And we beat. If we look in front of us, our Diva is at near full health. Our McCree, I don't even know where our McCree is. And I don't think you do either.
Shit.
Okay, our McCree is with us, and you do say shit, so I think you know this is a mistake. I just want to know why it happened in the first place. If it was a fat finger, like, it happens, whatever. But if we'd had it here, even though we got halted, if we had beated in that dragon, if we had delayed it a little bit, we survived that. And I know we got halted, or at least it looks like we did based on the kill feed, so I'm not gonna talk too much about that. But the comms while you're doing this, listen.
Dragons? Fuck! Where's the all dragons?
There was no... You called dragons dragons. But where? Where are the dragons? Are they right side of point? Do we not have to worry about them? Are they coming from the left side of point? Do we need to look left? Are they coming behind us? Are they coming in front of us? You're just yelling dragons. And then you go into, fuck, I'm in the middle of dragons. That's not really useful comms. Dragons right side. Dragons coming right. Short, simple, shut it. Right? Too much comms is just as bad as too few. Or too little. I don't know what the proper grammar is there, but saying too much is just as bad as not saying enough.
Did you miss your charge? Okay.
So, that whole 10 seconds, we didn't once look at the status of the team. Who on your team has ults? Do you know? I'm pretty sure our Junk does. Our McCree might. I haven't been... Actually, no, he just switched. Our McCree was the Pharah. Our Moira doesn't. Our Reinhardt doesn't. Our Diva might. But you don't know. Because you're not looking at your info screen. You don't know if they've made swaps, which they have. These are not the same DPS you've been fighting. One of these was a Widow. I think it was the May. You don't know how much healing's being done. You don't know if you need to swap from that perspective. You don't even know what gold or silver healing is. You just aren't using your resources, man. Now, I will put in the caveat, because I know how this game ends, and I know what happens a little later on. You might be a little bit tilted at this point, and I know 100% our big boy over here is tilted. And that's going to become apparent in the comms a little later on. At that point, you either keep rolling with it without being toxic, and we're going to come to that in a second, or you just mute your mic, take yourself out of it. Either way, you need to be in the habit, as soon as you die, either keep calling out a target to focus down, or just immediately hit that info screen. Use this 10 seconds, this full 10 seconds. Like if we, oh my god, I hate this. Anytime I use the pen, it like takes me out of this full screen. But we're, actually this isn't even, so we die at, yeah, so we die at 17. We, 3, 2, 1, 9, 8, 7. That full 10 seconds, you didn't do anything to further your knowledge in this game. You questioned a mistake he made, which, yeah, was real questionable. But you didn't progress in the game. You just kind of sat here and took a breather, which can be fine. Again, if we're tilted, we might need it, but we should still be looking at the info screen. Now we still have 2 on point. We should be spamming the group up button, trying to get our team to back out, or at the very least, speeding our Reinhardt in. You just left your Reinhardt. Where is your Reinhardt? He went out the other door. Why aren't you with your Reinhardt? Why aren't you amping speed? You are clearly trying to get back. But we save our amp till we get there. And then we amp heals for one person. There's only one person in our aura, and I think it might be our diva. I think. Who is being shot by their diva. Their diva right here. Who is being hit by the coalescence. Right there. And that little trail right there, I believe, is a May icicle. I'm not sure which direction it's coming from. It looks like it went over there, so I think May is somewhere over in here. The reason I'm pointing all that out, we went over how much Lucio is able to heal. His amp gives you about 50 health. That's it. Do you think 50 health is going to be able to help that diva against their diva, a May, and a coalescence firing at her? Because I don't. And I'm willing to bet we are about to watch her get demec'd. So oh yeah, and diva's not even the one in our aura. It's this dude down here. I think this is our jump, maybe? We dodged the bomb, that's good. This fight is messy. This fight is very messy. I like the amp heals here, just because of where the fight's at, but look. So we see our Ryan coming in, we get amp heals back here. We get it back, and we see both The only two other people on point, critical health, and they are both in our aura. We have all that information right now at 4:38. We don't amp until a full 2 seconds later, after they both die. And then we die. So, okay. I'm going to come to that in a second, but we need to be using our abilities a little more preemptively, almost. Lucio is not going to be able to heal through damage over time. He's just not. I think any damage character in the game will be able to overpower Lucio's healing. God help you if you have more than one person targeting that guy. You're not going to be able to help him. It's sad, but there it is. What I would have liked to see there, they were probably going to die. The best chance you had to save them, swap to speed, amp, and try to get them out of there. Worst comes to worst, those two die anyway. As we saw, even with you healing them, they still died. But if you would amp speed, started running away, and wall rode off those the pillars, like these pillars right here, you would have been out that choke. You probably would have gotten away. Instead, we just kind of stay on point, amping heals, not doing a whole lot. Now, like I said, this point in particular is tough to wall ride on, because within the bounds of the control point itself, there aren't really any walls. You have this little patch right there. Like, right. You have that little strip of wall. And you can get some pretty good contests in there. But if they know where to look, they're just going to focus you down. It's better to get out. Just run away. You only had 2 other people on point. They were getting their respawns. Just try to back your team out. Get away. Don't feed. Now, we're going to get to start talking about...
If anything, we're using less internet right now.
Our Reinhardt's comms. He is tilted. Whether he knows it at this point or not, he is tilted. I want you to watch this, because you are with your Reinhardt. You see your team going main. You don't try to change their direction. I don't know if your team is in comms or not. I'm assuming not. But you have the same information that your Reinhardt does. You make the choice to go support your team. Our Reinhardt sees the same people, sees where they are, and waits until someone dies to say anything. That is bad comms. Marvel, if you are watching this, that's bad comms. I know you're normally not a main tank. I know you like to play off tank more. You are hardcore tilted, and you are blaming your team for something they legitimately have no way of knowing. Keymore is in comms with you, and he didn't know you were going top right. You didn't tell anybody. You wanted your team to read your mind, change their plans, and follow you. Keymore, you did do the right thing. Your team is poking without a shield and just standing in the open with no cover. Those are all mistakes on their end. But you went to your team. You tried to support them. You tried to enable them doing what they were doing. That is the right move.
Main? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now you're down a Junkrat. Marvel, that's not useful. You're tilted. Mute your mic when you're tilted.
not on point.
So this isn't all on you. But so right about here, you should be saying, I'm gonna speed us up the stairs. I'm gonna speed up the stairs onto point. Right here, when you are about to enter this room, that is when you should be saying it, because your team is already there. They are moving with or without you. We switch to speed, that's good. Now count down, speeding in 3, 2, 1, speed. We say nothing. We ignore the Orisa on point. Who we see. Orisa is right here. Her shield is right here. And I think this is our diva, maybe? I'm not sure what that is. But we see their Orisa. We see her. That is in our field of view. And then as we run to point, now we can see this. It's contested. There's one person from each team on this point. And what we say is,
we're not on point.
So we have abandoned our team because we didn't tell them what we were doing, and we have given our team false information. 2 horrible things in the scope of Overwatch. These games are quick. You know that. You know that as well as I do. 10 seconds is a long time. 1 second can be the difference between winning and losing. We have now given our team false information without getting them to where we are because we ran in front of them, and we're wasting time because we're about to die here.
Shit.
This is something I had to get used to as well, because when you speed, you are used to just kind of wall riding, jumping, going as fast as you can. When you are speeding your team, unless you are kind of breaking up your wall rides and sticking with your team while you're doing it, you should really just be on the ground. It is one of the only times I'm going to tell you to be on the ground as Lucio. But when you're speeding your team, you need to make sure you are with them that entire time, because you move faster than them. Especially if the Reinhardt has his shield up, you're going to move faster than him. You just are. His movement speed is slowed. You're walking normally. You need to wait for your team. It's counterintuitive because, again, you just want to go fast. And I get it. I really, really do. But you got to wait for him. Play behind them. If you can't see your team, you're in the wrong spot. With a couple exceptions, but where you're at right now, like the level of Lucio play, if you can't see your team, you're wrong. Then we die. Our Reinhardt's already critical.
Where did everyone go? That is clearly a question. Nobody was there. Cool. They all backed up and then went mean.
So our Marvel, if you're watching this, are you hearing yourself tilt? I really hope you are.
Shit, she froze me.
This is unlucky.
I'm out. Fuck.
I mean, you got back, you had 2 picks. That was just kind of unlucky. Just amp speed. Amp right now. Amp, 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 amp.
I'm right here.
So, 2 things. 1, if you are trying to catch up to your team, amp out of spawn. Yeah, it's a 12-second cooldown, but it'll take you probably 6 to 8, maybe even 10 seconds to get back, especially on maps like this. It's not a waste of the cooldown, because by the time you're ready to go again, it'll be back. Using it here to heal your team, that's fine. But the second thing, you didn't tell your team that the healers weren't with them. You saw them all go critical. Like, watch this. So you said we gotta group up again. You see your Moira right here. You see somebody go critical here. You see another critical. And a third critical. And you still haven't told anyone your healers aren't with them. They think you're there. They're only up there because they think they can be. They think their healers are there supporting them. You need to tell them that you're not. You need to tell them to back out, to wait. If you're not giving your team the information, they're probably going to make wrong decisions. And it's not because they think, oh, I can win this without healing. It's because they think you're there. They have inaccurate information. Give them the right information. Help them make informed decisions. Nobody's... Okay, maybe not nobody, but... I know at least Marvel is not going to push in if he knows his healers aren't with him. You didn't tell him.
I need heals. Like, right here. I'm right here.
And then that makes him... He's already tilted. Him thinking his healers aren't healing him, that's going to make it worse. Again, he thinks you're with him. He doesn't know you're coming back from spawn. There's no reason... Nothing is happening right now. There's no reason that you guys should be in this choke just holding shield. You either need to walk forward and you need to speed him over this bridge. This is where Lucio's speed boost really comes in handy. But it's on a 6-second cooldown right now. Or you guys just need to get out of there. Get in cover. You're down 1. Your diva is down. Just back out. Recover your resources. Get your cooldowns back. Get his shield back. You are just wasting time and resources in this choke right now. You're not moving forward. You're not moving backward. You are literally just standing here getting shot at.
My barrier's gonna go down. Yeah. We're gonna go down. Yeah. Boost us up the stairs. Got it. Going now.
Give it a countdown, man. He wasn't ready. He told you to boost him up the stairs. You said, okay, go now. That's like saying, hey, we're gonna have a race. Ready, set, go. And then you take off before the other person. That is what you just did. Give them a countdown. Let them know what you're doing. And stay behind your tank.
Go. Do it. Good. I'm out.
You didn't call it. He got pissed because he didn't know you were doing it. And now you all die.
I'm down. It's half of our team down. Yeah, our team went out.
And yeah, your team's not grouping up. But now you're both starting to blame your teammates for some pretty clear mistakes on your end. Granted, the communication stuff isn't going to be as big because I don't know this, but I don't believe your team is in chat. I will give you that. It's frustrating. I get it. That means you need to change how you play. You need to be reactionary. You need to look at what your team is doing and enable them. You're not going to be able to play the way you want to or the style you're comfortable with. It's annoying. It sucks. But if you try to force it on a bunch of people who can't hear you and who aren't listening to you, you're setting yourself up for failure.
One team was with us. Why is half our team down? Because half of our team was with us and the other half was sitting around with their fingers in their butt.
Actually, That's not right. Your McCree was taking off angles. Granted, he could stay with the team. Your D.Va should have been with the team. But you had both healers, the main tank, and a DPS with you. You had 4 people with a 2000 HP barrier ready to walk up those stairs. And keep in mind, it was a Junkrat. So he's putting out a lot of forward pressure. If you had stuck together, called out your speed boost, and let the Reinhardt go first, that would have played out differently. Because Moira was there. She was with you until she got so hurt she had to back out. That's why she backed out. Because your Reinhardt charged in, you sped in, and then Junkrat died. She didn't want to 1v6 the enemy team. Your McCree and your D.Va, they also didn't engage on that. Because it wasn't an engagement. It was a trickle fest. You walked in one by one and died one by one.
Yep. Alright, looks like we're trying to go top right again. But we need to group up, we can't just go up top right.
You've got 4 people. Your D.Va's drawn some kind of aggro, and now you have 2 picks. Why do we jump down here? We see the tire. We see an Arissa. Well, maybe we don't. Hold on. What do we see? Okay. So we can see the Arissa right here. We see the Moira right here. We know our D.Va's over here, and she just got demeched by their D.Va. So we know their D.Va is here-ish. So we know we can account for half of their team. Then we go in, and we now know the Hanzo's out, and the Arissa, who was the only one on point, is out. But we also know that Moira is still down there. And we have no idea where their second DPS is, or where their healers are. Or second healer, rather, because we saw the Moira. Why do we jump down? And while we're jumping, we actually see the Mei. We don't tell anyone we're jumping. We don't tell anybody about the Mei. We don't tell anybody about the Moira. We just jump down. Now we have somebody else here, and there's only the Moira on point contesting. But what are you gaining? You're just contesting right now. The Moira's not dead. Whoever's over there isn't dead. You're split up because you're not communicating. Did we have to save ourselves? Kind of.
I'm fucking. Why am I getting frozen with no one?
Marvel, you're getting frozen with no one helping you because you're not telling anybody what you're doing. Stop getting mad at your team for not reading your mind. If you're getting mad at your team because they're not in chat, alright. That sucks. I agree. But it is what it is. You gotta work with it, man. You're not spamming the I need healing button. You didn't make sure people were with you when you went down those stairs. You didn't even tell the person in comms with you that you were going down the stairs. Now, Keymore, you didn't tell your Reinhardt you were jumping on point. You didn't tell him you were leaving him to die. You two aren't communicating. And you're getting mad that people don't know what you're doing and aren't helping you do it. Like, that, there it is. This is whatever. Kind of a waste of a shatter. So, Where did we amp? Why are we boosting heals? Our diva, did we do this as she bombed? We kind of did it as she bombed, but even before she bombed, she was at full health. Our Moira's coalescing. We can't see anybody else on our team. We're not hurt. Why did we amp here? And you might just say, oh, whatever, it's the middle of a fight, it happens, but now we have a bomb. And we do not have beat. If we had had amp here, switched it to speed right now, switch speed and amp, we can make it behind that wall. That wall right there. And we are safe. We are safe from this bomb. And heck, we have 4 people. 4 people in our aura right now. If we amp speed right now, they get behind the Reinhardt shield. You get behind this wall. Your team lives. But that's not what happens. We don't have amp. We don't try to get in cover. We freak out and end up doing nothing. Look where you are by the end of this bomb. You look at it, you're calling bomb, 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 but we don't get behind this pillar. Kind of looks like we might be trying to. We don't go to the closest cover, this wall. We don't go back to our Reinhardt. We just kind of watch the bomb and say bomb, 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 bomb. We don't say bomb on point. We don't move away from the bomb. We're just seeing what everybody can see. Or saying what everybody can see, rather. This is why you gotta stick with your tank line. Or failing that, play near cover, man. This point's tough, but those pillar things over that way, great way to avoid bombs. This wall right here, bomb's not getting through that. Heck, even if you make it to this pillar, if you are standing right about here, you're going to survive that bomb. And instead, we stand on the stairs, watch the bomb, call out the bomb, talk about the bomb, and then we die to the bomb.
I got it. Fuck. Hold it. I got beat up.
Amp speed, amp. Well, yeah, now it's not worth it. But you gotta get in this habit, when you are coming back to a fight still in progress, you gotta get as much speed as possible, and you're gonna want that amp back as soon as possible, so amp speed out of spawn. It'll get you there faster, it'll reset your cooldown faster.
Yep. Go.
So since we do have amp here, yeah, you say you're gonna boost us on the point. And when are we boosting? So we see our team going a different way, and we make the choice to follow our Reinhardt. I'm okay with that choice, but you're also, I think, does he come from behind you? Yeah, he sees your whole team do the same thing you did. So I don't know what he's doing or what his plan is. Marvel, man. I get you're pissed at your team. You can't win this 1v6, and you are trying to. You just watched your whole team go left. They went left to get some high ground, and they were gonna drop on the bridge. You know what would really help them do all that stuff? A big 2,000 hit point barrier to block damage for them. But you are so tilted right now. You aren't thinking. You are so adamant that top right is the correct path, and if they're not doing it, they're wrong, I'm right. To what end? If you don't win, what's it matter who's right? Arguably, if you don't win, are you really doing the right thing? But Keymore, you need to stop him here. You saw your team. You see what your team is doing. You even shot over there to try to help them. Say, Ryan, stop. Our team is going left.
Right.
We watch the rest of our team go left, and we do stick with our Reinhardt. I appreciate that. But, like, why are we beating? So you guys are both talking about how your team gets split. It's because of this. You both just made active choices to ignore your team and continue into a 2v6 fight. And then our Moira dies somewhere. I don't even see her death portrait. And we beat. There wasn't an ult. Our team's not even on point. We're not fighting. There's no reason. We're healing Orion, that's fine.
I always fucking die. Why am I always dying? Why is Moira never with her team? I have no idea. D.Va isn't either.
It's because you're not telling them where you're going and you're not following your team. That's why they're never with you.
D.Va and Moira are consistently not with our team.
You're not with your team either, buds. Then we're in overtime. Amp. There is no reason not to amp. Amp, kid. Amp. Amped. Way too late. Way too late.
I'm done. I should be at least. That was my second loss. Not third. Why is that the case? Like,
Marvel. I know that you have this thing for whatever reason about, oh, I lost 2. I don't need to stop. Listen to yourself, man. You are tilted to oblivion. You aren't playing well. You're not communicating well. And you are diving right back in. You're not taking a break. You're not calming down. And you're trying to convince somebody else to do the same thing. They said they were done. He's tilted too. And you rope him into another game of comp. And you know what? I watched that next game. You got full held on the first point. Because you are both tilted. The reason you stop after 2. 1 is so that you're not fighting for that SR back. If you're trying to climb and you lose 2, something changes in your head. You see that score go down, no matter who you are, whether it's conscious or subconscious, and you want it back. So you start playing differently. That is why you stop after 2 losses. But what I'm really pissed about is that you are telling somebody else your opinion on the matter like it's a fact. But beyond all that, you're not even recognizing when you're tilted. Stop after 2. So, aside from yelling at a couple of my friends, Keymore, if we're going to keep playing Lucio, we need to fundamentally understand his kit a little bit better. I know I still make a lot of these mistakes too. Don't blindly copy. Don't just do things because you saw other people do them. Understand why they're doing them. Beat, your sound barrier, your ultimate, that is around 1,000 points of shield that stays for about 3-4 seconds. Use it for big value ultimates. Stuff like Sigma's ult, Diva Bomb, Junkrat Tire if you can get the timing down. That one's trickier. I wouldn't recommend it until you're more comfortable with the ultimate itself. Other big stuff. Dragons, if you like see it going over a grav or something. Use it for grav if you guys are getting pressured. We only got 2 beats that I remember in this whole game, and we wasted both of them. Neither of those beats did anything of value. We didn't have it for the Diva Bomb. We didn't have it for the Dragons. We didn't have it for the second Diva Bomb. Or maybe we did. Use it for ultimates. Beat is a huge defensive ult. Use it to counter ultimates. As far as amp goes, speed more, heal a little bit less. One thing I would recommend, go into your settings and change crossfade to hold. Now, it might be a pain, like, oh, I have to hold it if I want to speed, or I have to hold it if I want to heal, or whatever it sets to. I know when I hold mine down, I speed. When I let it go, I heal. The reason that's good, it takes one less thing from the HUD that you need to keep track of. Because if you're holding it down, if you're holding L1 down, and it's set to having crossfade as a hold, like you hold it to activate it, you know holding down is speed. You know if you're not holding L1 down, you're healing. You don't need to check what you're on down here. You don't need to look. You don't need to waste that time or that brain power. You know if you're holding it, you're speed. You're not, you're healing. And it'll give you a little more control. It'll let you do it a little bit quicker. So instead of having to double tap it to switch real quick, just press it down to get speed. Let it go to get healing. And you can switch a lot faster just doing this movement instead of ta-da, 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 ta-da every time, right? I think I've told you this before. Switch your jump button. It shouldn't be on X. You want to be able to aim and wall ride at the same time. That said, we didn't see a lot of wall riding in this. I saw some attempts. You were trying to like jump off of things sometimes. That's good for fights and duels a little bit, but wall riding is a huge mobility tool. It's a transport ability, essentially. And I never really saw you use it. So, if you are going to keep playing Lucio, if you want to get better at Lucio, go into these maps, go into custom games, and just wall ride. Just figure out where you can and can't wall ride, try to get to some crazy places. See what you can and can't do with the hero. I wasn't really watching for our boops. They weren't, I'm not even sure how often we used that ability. Boop is a huge part of Lucio's kit. It helps you control the battlefield. It helps you control where enemies are. And you can push them into your team. You can push them away from your team. I really only remember seeing you boop the Diva away from your Reinhardt back on point A. Use it more. I can't even tell you how to use it because I can't even tell you what to change in using it because I don't really think I saw you use it. So just use it more. Make sure you always have a reason for amping. Here, let's see if we can get. I think this is just play the game. But you're always have a reason for amping. We wasted a lot of amps, and it got us killed more often than not. Maybe not right away, but it's a 12-second cooldown, man. You want to make sure you have a reason to use it. Don't always use it to heal. You're not going to be able to heal through damage. Use it to top your team off in the middle of a team fight. Like, if you're not chasing anybody down, yeah, go ahead, use that to heal. But if you're engaging, if your team is critical in taking fire, amp speed. Get them out of there. Help them chase down people if they're at full health. Like, we are trying to... I think we believe Lucio's amp heals more than it does. Remember, it only heals about 50 HP. So if they're not going to survive, if your teammate isn't going to survive with an extra 50 HP, it's kind of a waste. Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack there. If you have any questions, you guys know me, but ask me. Anybody else with this video has questions, comments, something I got wrong, please drop a comment down below. I'd appreciate it a whole lot if you subscribed. I'm just a dude trying to help make educational Overwatch content. Yeah, I'm just trying to help out the community, help me get better as well. I'm only plat in support, and tank role is almost diamond. So, I'm not the be-all end-all. I make mistakes. I'm still learning too. If you see something I got wrong, or if my explanation just wasn't in depth enough or not on point, like if I got something wrong, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, we'll be back next week with some more VOD reviews. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.